People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of Seven on Twitter and YouTube, People of elsewhere on the internet. My soaps locate Purple Butterfly soaps.myshopify.com, my blog Purple Butterfly people.blogspot.com. And once a year, I coat my canvas blockhead if it needs it. Usually it doesn't, the coating doesn't come up except for like in one spot here, one spot there. And I just, I could either patch it or I could cover the whole thing. I usually just cover the whole thing. I use Aleene's tacky glue. Okay, and this one looks like it's been through a war, and there's a reason for that. Okay, the current wig I'm working on, well, see if I can do it this way, because there's something I did that I'm going to reveal to you in a minute. The color of the canvas blockhead is literally the same color as the lace. So every now and then it gets real hard to see the lace with the canvas blockhead being the same color right behind it, which is one of the reasons why you use colored lace, because it has to match skin tone. See that? So imagine if your skin is the same color as the lace, it's hard to see, which is why a full lace wig works. Well, if your canvas blockhead is the same color as your lace, it's almost invisible. Most of the time I can, basically I just put a knot here and then just go right next to it and, just working blind, and that saves me from using patterns and all that makes the work obvious. I always get a natural effect. Well, I was putting a shield when the coating came up. I just took a gray plastic bag and made a shield in order to work through. That kept picking up the plastic bag, and that was annoying me. So, hold on, there's a hair on the camera. So I figure I'll just go ahead and put new coating on and maybe color the blockhead. So I took a piece of lace, and I had some crayons in the house, and not crayons, Crayola paints in the house that looks like a crayon. Basically, you roll it up like a glue stick, and I took this and put it next to it to see if I could see the lace through it, and I can clearly see the lace in comparison to the color on there. And I assume, because this is blue and it's colored blue, that this is the color blue I would get. So I took this and literally colored the entire canvas block, put on some nitrile gloves and smeared it because, it was wet, and I wanted to make sure I got complete coverage without it being too dark in some places. And then I went behind it with the Aleene's tacky, and that gave me this. Now, it was all this dark until I put the Aleene's tacky on it, and as you could tell, that lightened it up just a little bit as it dried. Basically, I just put the Aleene's tacky on so thick that when I rubbed it, it smeared it to a lighter blue, and when I got to basically this shade here, I stopped rubbing it so that way I could have a surface I could see through, and that also helps speed the drying time. This is completely dry right now, There's only one spot that's really dark, and that's like right on the crease, so I'm not really worried about it. And when I put it on, I can see, let's see if I get it close enough where you see what I see. I can see each rung of the lace completely through that without having to guess where the lace is. You see what I'm saying? Which is the goal. Then I put my wig back on it. Okay, that's the back. This is the front. It's a little slippery. But when you put the pins on, that takes care of that issue. Ta-da. Now I can see every seam. I can see every opening of the wig. I can see the lace straight through there. And I can see my work. So, yeah. If you aren't comfortable with putting a plastic bag over the lace like a lot of people do, consider putting a coating on it. I put the coating on because my canvas blockhead, you know, this one is knitted. I have another one that's actually canvas. But when you're making a wig or whatever and just sewing down, that's one thing. But when it lifts up like that, you want something that's not going to lift up. The lifting was causing an issue when I was ventilating, and basically if you get the hair caught in there, when you go to lift it up, you either have to cut that little piece off or you have to sacrifice the hairs that's attached to the wig, kind of like plucking. So that's when I put the coating on it. So now I can take the ventilating needle and work and not worry about it lifting up at all. Well, in that one spot where it's still wet. You see that? So I know to glue that part back down. But when I'm working with the lace, you see how that glances right off of there? It's not penetrating at all. So with the lace on top of it and I'm working on a wig or whatever, I don't have to worry about this happening. See? Because you don't want this happening to a wig that you're working on. Because then that slows down your work and it compromises your wig, because if you get something stuck in your lace like that when it's time to take the wig off, issue. So that's why I started putting a coating on it. Speaking of which, where's that spot? Let me find it right quick. Because I'm putting a little dab of some Aleene's tacky on it, so that way it can be as hard as this. Usually I put 2 coats on, but this time I put the paint on it and then the Aleene's tacky, and I just assumed it was the same as using 2 coats, but well, this is paint and this is glue, so I still need 2 coats of glue apparently. But that's what it's looking like now. I have seen people put like glue pattern paper on there so that way they get the same effect, but paper only lasts so long. You have to change that out every single time, and that gets to be annoying when you just want to, you know, put on a new cap and grab some hair and go. So that's why I do it that way. Put a pin in there to hold that down. Yeah. And I also made sure the paint went further down than my wig, okay? Example, you probably can't see it now, but the base of the wig line is right there. The nape line is right there. The paint is stopping right there. So that way, even if I had an extended wig, it's going to fit in the same exact spot that it needs to. And I don't have to worry about the coating coming off. And I don't have to worry about not being able to see the lace, because I made sure that everywhere the lace would be is covered. Yes. Which is the goal of that. Let me put my pen, holding pins in. And then I'll put my, oh, I'm going to have to refine my center spot. There we go. I think I'll put like a little white spot of paint there so I can see where the center is every time. And then I have all these pins that holds down the lace on the edges. So yeah, that I have to do later. And I just seen a hole that I could patch up. And see, that's another reason why you want to put a coating there, because if there's a hole in the lace that's the same color as the lace, you'd never see that. You see that? And basically, I could take this little piece of lace, patch that up, and keep right on ventilating. It'll never be seen by a soul except for me. Yeah. So, just thought I'd share that. This has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located Purple Butterfly soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have an issue seeing your lace, try coating it with some paint and some Aleene's tacky glue. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now.